You know what? Because this serves the Cowboys right. Because for the longest time, oh, Cooper Rush is better than Dak. Jerry could have saved that money that he paid Dak, gave 15, 20 million to Cooper Rush. Look here, bro. Compared to Cooper Rush, Dak is Patrick Mahomes.
No doubt. So with that being said, the thing is with this season, so many people complain about the starting quarterback and then overpraise the backup quarterback. And I get it. The Cowboys been in this situation, whereas the first time since 2020 we have a losing season. Nevertheless, the times when we do have losing season, guess what? Your starting quarterback don't finish the season. That's basically it. And if you look through the time frame when Dak Prescott is here, when he's eligible to finish out the season, we end up having a winning season. Now, granted, Dak Prescott didn't perform his best. He can admit it himself. He also stated that this team effing suck, and we get all of that. But it's the small group of Cowboy fans that continue to overpraise or overanalyze Cooper Rush. Now, granted, shouts out to Cooper Rush for being able to stand in the gaps, being 9-5 as a starter here. That's nothing to sneeze at. But when you look back at those games, it's not like those 9 wins were gracefully outstanding, that we blew out teams with those 9 wins. They were at the edge of their seat type of wins, outside of maybe the Carolina Panthers game and some other game. But majority of the games, we at the edge of our seats. So I just want to say that, ladies and gentlemen, no shade upon Cooper Rush. Cowboys, we got to head into this draft and get things right and properly. When expectations meets reality type of thing, we got to make sure that we have run game for the future and another true weapon on the opposite side of CeeDee Lamb. Now, granted, Jonathan Mingo, the Cowboys used a 4th-round draft pick for him. Jalen Tolbert, he's like hot one week, cold the next week, so I don't know. And he's my boy. Shout out to Jalen Tolbert. And Brooks, he's what he is. And I think that the Cowboys should go into this draft drafting a running back as well as a wide receiver. But don't dismiss defense too. But those are the 2 areas of needs. And also, we need a DB due to the fact that Trayvon Diggs may be out for majority of 2025.
Compared to Cooper Rush. Now, y'all need to stop this, Cowboy fans. Cooper Rush was a free agent. He went back to the Cowboys, which I said was going to happen. He's a guy. Right. He's a Jag. Yeah. Just another guy. And that's not, I don't say that in a disrespectful, but that's okay. Because you got 1,500 guys in the NFL. Everybody is not great. There's room for everybody, but we've got to stop because we see guys have a few good games and talk about they're the second coming. No, he's not. He never was. He never will be.
They crowned him too early, huh? They crowned him too early?
Yes. But I want to know,
the early crowning, that's what we do here, baby. And I get it. Dak fatigue is a real thing. He's been here not for 1, not for 2, not for 3, not for 4 years, right? He's been here for a long time. And we haven't graced anything as it relates to Super Bowl ready and these sorts of things. And we can look back and say, let's find the issue. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to point at Dak Prescott. And I get it. I understand 1,000%. But I also look at it like this. It's not like this team on a consistent level surrounded consistent weapons. For once, we can talk about Amari Cooper, but the year we started to excel in that, they get rid of him the following year, right? We can talk about running back game. Don't y'all know that the last running back that was drafted, the last 2, and we've been needing of a running back, the last 2 was Tiny Deuce Vaughn and Tony Pollard, and that was before the Mike McCarthy administration, and he's been here for 5 years. So there goes to show you that this team, we just don't do team real building things because of the general manager or because of the Stephen Jones of the world. We be working against ourselves, and it's a clear evidence when you look at this thing as it relates to totality
I think they might give Mike McCarthy a contract extension because he had him playing hard. Remember last week? Jerry came out. He kept this team together. They keep battling.
Yeah. Let's listen to this too, though. You know, they say this right here. Let's listen.
What does this last stretch of football mean about Mike McCarthy as the coach of this team, and what might it mean for his potential future as the coach of this team?
Oh, I think he's saved his job. That's how I feel. I mean, maybe. I don't disagree with it, but I think I think he's deserving of it. Who are you going to go get that's better? Right? This was a flawed roster. We've talked about it all year. This defense has been abysmal. And this is the reality is this is one of the few teams in the NFL that's actually improved as the season's gone on. He's missing the highest paid player in the history of the league, hasn't played this season, right? There's some real flaws here, but they aren't on him. And I really think he's proven that, this guy's a good coach.
All right, so when he talked about improvement, don't you know where the area improved at? It wasn't offense, by the way, outside of the run game. The damn defense improved. Mike Zim, the defense outperformed the offense, and the defense had the most injuries. And we can talk about Mike McCarthy being a good coach, bad coach, or indifferent, but another set of teams with similar sets of circumstances, minus their starting quarterback going down, did a whole flip. They have over 16 people on IR, and that's the Detroit Lions. They got a slew of injuries there, and they still find ways to win games. On top of that, they took the negative connotation of losing last year in the postseason and flipped it on revenge tour type of stuff. Yeah, they looking for revenge, so they took it to that particular level. Whereas the Cowboys, we took it like a docile type of level. Now, granted, this offseason, who did we win? And who did we go get? We only got an Eric Kendricks for the offseason free agency. That points fingers at Jerry Jones, not granted. But here's the 1,000 truth that I got to tell y'all. When you're talking about a contract extension, a new contract, there's no way Mike McCarthy is going to look back at this and say, I'm dealing with all of this mess, and I want the same pay. Give me $4.5 million again. Let me run it back. No, Mike McCarthy going to want more money. He's going to want some type of more control. If he's a man, he's going to want autonomy. Don't y'all get that, right? So it's not like I'm going to get the same thing. No, he's going to want more. And with those things, he's going to have to get more expectations, because Jerry Jones and company and Steven, they're going to look at this, and when they say the argument, who's out there better? Well, at this point, the Cowboy fans are deserving to at least interview these guys, because Mike McCarthy, at his face value, will not accept the same contract that he got previously, right? So he's going to want more as a man. He's not going to say, run that back with $4.5 million, which he's already one of the lowest paid head coaches in the National Football League, right? So he's going to want more. And Cowboy fans, as we all deserving, or in natural order of everything, deserve to at least interview different coaches and also see what could be available, instead of saying, hey, no one is going to be better than Mike McCarthy based off of the circumstances. So I look at that as a straw man's argument.
Right. I think he's proven that, and I think he needs to be in consideration. Now, his contract's winding down, so this isn't a matter of him getting fired. Does he get a new contract? That's probably a little more complicated, but who are you going to get that is better is my question.
When I say maybe, it's not that he's not deserving. It's that it goes both ways. Number one, Jerry Jones has got to decide, hey, I want to renew him, and Mike McCarthy has the ability to go talk to whoever he wants about a head coaching job. So he can go listen to the New Orleans Saints, where he's coached before. If they want to talk to him, he can go listen to the New York Jets. He can go listen to any team that has an opening that wants to go talk to Mike McCarthy. So it goes both ways. And by the way, they've talked about what a great job he's done, and people saying he saved his job. I think he's absolutely proven himself to a certain extent. But the fact of the matter is, Jerry Jones has not given him an extension. He's not done anything like that just yet. So this has played on, which tells me that Jerry is interested in Mike, but Jerry also is probably reviewing his options.
All right, so if Jerry reviewing his options, right, so should Mike. And if Mike McCarthy is any good, if he's any good, like Alex Smith is lamenting, on the open market, being able to interview with the Jets or being able to interview with the Jaguars or Saints, Chicago Bears, if he's any good with that resume for what he did in the last few years, and especially dealing with the circumstances that the Cowboys have bestowed upon him, it should be a no-brainer for the Jets, right? They should love to embrace the 12-5, the 12-5, the 12-5 if everything is healthy. The Jaguars, they should love to embrace the fact that this team, particular Mike McCarthy, been 12-5, 12-5, 12-5 if everything is healthy, right? Chicago Bears, Saints, all of those teams, they should love to pay Mike McCarthy $8 to $10 million or whatever his asking price is, because those organizations and franchises haven't seen 12-5, 12-5, 12-5 in the previous years. Let me know if I'm lying. But if that's the situation and scenario, Jerry Jones himself should look back at this and say to everybody, yeah, I'm bringing back Mike McCarthy because of these things. But Mike McCarthy, as a man, he should be able to say, yeah, if I'm coming back, I want more money and I want more control. There got to be some type of give type of thing. Concessions, I meant to say. Got to be some type of concessions. Got to be.
41-7?
Yeah.
You see what happens with expectations? Yeah. That's the killer of dreams. Expectations.
Yes, indeed. And when expectations meets the reality, what will Mike McCarthy do if he got options? And what will Jerry Jones do? Cowboy Nation, at the end of the day, we got to find and solidify a head coach and his staff before the draft. And we have to have those principles and philosophies ready. So let's get it. Cowboy Nation, post me your thoughts, post me your concerns down below. And once again, I'm going to say this. If Mike McCarthy is worth the grain of salt that that most of you guys said, that want Mike McCarthy back, then it should be a no-brainer for him to get the job with the Jets, the Jaguars, the Saints, Chicago Bears, one of those teams, whoever's looking for a head coaching job, because he can come into that particular interview with his hat in his hand and say, hey, these are the things I was done with limited resources and limited opportunity because I had a meddling owner and I got a owner's son who think he knows how to count, right? So that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And Cooper Trooper supporters, we don't want to hear no more of the Cooper Rush better than Dak conversation. I don't want to hear that no more. Let's figure out a way to get run game to this team, and let's figure out ways to stop the run and get sound defense in this draft or what have you. And hopefully, since Michael Parsons said he's taking less money, that we figure out ways also to dance around in free agency. And that's a real hopeful expectation. DC for life, not for sure. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the Bass. Go Cowboys.